Well, I figured since I'm down here in the shop, I'd go ahead and do a couple videos. I did the one on the bag, and this is the new meat stick. And I posted this up on my other channel, but it really more belongs here. And I haven't stopped buying guns and hunting and stuff. I do a lot more hunting now that my kids are a little bit older, and sometimes they like going with me, and it gives me more motivation to get out. But I don't do a lot of the tactical guns much anymore, just because that horse has been beat to death, and really I think the the future are these like high quality bolt guns and stuff. At least for me, my future lies in these semi-custom and custom bolt guns. What the hell? But so I picked up this Christensen Arms carbon. So I got two of them, and then two of my buddies got them. So got one of them got just the regular steel barrel, and then Mark got a carbon as well. And on this rifle, I drew the short straw. It had massive issues. The headspace was off. The bolt was locking. The accuracy wasn't bad, but it wasn't great either. Just everything, all in all, was just disappointing. And there's a video on my Hedge Apple Hollow Homestead channel all about that covers all that. So I sent it to Christensen Arms, and they went over it, and it took almost 2 months. And granted, this is a brand new rifle that this is all occurring on. These, paid retail for it, no special preferential treatment or anything. I don't get that kind of stuff. So they're about $2,500. And the reason I went with this one, and we all kind of settled on this one, was the weight. The weight is awesome. It's like 5.5 pounds. I think it was 5 pounds 9 ounces with nothing on it in the Magnum. So this is chambered in 7 PRC, which I actually am liking quite a lot. The 7 PRC cartridge is pretty awesome. The 7 Rim Mag is an outstanding cartridge in its own right. It's been around forever, but they're almost always twisted in a 9.5 twist. So 1 revolution of the bullet in 9.5 inches of barrel. So and that's good enough for like up to 150 grains. Maybe if you're lucky, if you can, you're pushing them pretty quick in a rim mag. These PRCs are twisted in an 8, so 1 bullet revolution in 8 inches, so you get more revolutions while it's in the tube. And so your stability factor goes up pretty dramatically. I mean, that's a pretty big difference. So the advantage to this is you can shoot, as far as I know, up to 195 grain bullets in these guns in the when it's chambered in the 7 PRC. So I bought the gun, took it out, was like, what the hell's the matter with this thing? And obviously we're clear, but still got stuff in it from Colorado. But all right, so the first thing is it would not load. It'll take three rounds in the magazine. It would not load that top round. It was out of alignment, and I believe the tension was off. So that was problem number 1. You couldn't even load it. Like, you could run it in there, and then it would catch on the feeder amp, and that was it. So it was jamming on that. And then once you loaded it, and you got those lugs locked in place, if you wanted to extract and eject that loaded cartridge, which most people would want to do, the bolt was locking in the lugs, which even after I got it back, it was still doing that. They never addressed that. So that took 3 or 4 hours of lapping the lugs, just going over and over and over and over again. And it was tearing up brass real bad. Just absolutely shredding brass. So there was a burr inside here on the action, and then there was a burr on the feed ramp, and it was just shredding brass. There was a burr inside the chamber, so they had to replace the barrel. The headspace was off. It was just a complete shit show, front to back. And then it took 2 months for them to get it sorted out. And then, I'm sitting there, we're heading out west. I've got a rifle bear tag, and I'm wondering, it got to the point where I was like, well, I'm probably not getting it back. And even if I do get it back, I'm not going to have time enough to get it all set up. Well, luckily that wasn't the case. But when I got it back, I sat there and had to screw with it and put, I don't know, 5-6 hours into it to get it right. They sent it back dirty, which really isn't the end of the world, but it's kind of like, man, you all don't care at all. So when I got it back and it was still having issues, I called them and said, hey, this thing still is not right, and especially it should have never left Utah in the first place. And I said, I really need this rifle sorted out quickly. And the guy was just kind of an asshole. So of course then I became an asshole. And I said, you know what, whatever, I'm done with y'all. So I did it myself. Called a gunsmith buddy of mine. He was like, yeah, they're like it's just Christensen arms. So, with that being said, the rifle, I would not do it again. I would go a different route. Doesn't matter what route you go. I just wouldn't do a Christensen again. In my opinion, this is my opinion, and everybody's got them, is if you spend $2,500 or, well, really anything, if just a rifle in general shouldn't really require a break-in in order to get, the best accuracy. And they've had this ridiculous break-in procedure before they say, all right, well, it should be shooting under a minute. A minute meaning 1 MOA or minute of angle, which is 1.047 inches at 100 yards. So just call it an inch. And to me, it's just ridiculous. I've got Tikas that shoot little bitty bug holes right out of the box. I know somebody that got one of the Go Wild Rugers. It shot bug holes out of the box in 7 PRC. So there's just no excuse for their half-assery, which is exactly what it is. So with that being said, I wouldn't do a Christensen. I just wouldn't do it. The bolt lift on them, on this one at least, is ridiculous. I'm going to put a Tubbs kit in it from a comment on my other channel. Guy was like, he had the same issue, and he put a Tubbs spring kit in his bolt, and it helped quite a lot. So I need to go ahead and get around to that. On this kit, though, or on this setup, it's got a Seekins base, and then Night Force ultralight rings, and a Trigicon 2.5 to 15 by 42 Credo. Now this scope is a tracking monster. It is perfect. I got it used off of Rock Slide, and honestly, I know what that's too. It's amazing. It's in my opinion sub $1,000. It's probably the best scope in the world. I carried it for about 80 miles, I guess is what I ended up pulling. Maybe not quite that, with the rifle and everything. And it was, and I got it when I got home. I didn't get to shoot anything. So when I got home, I checked it. Boom! It was, it was perfect. So, yeah. At 100, or I'm sorry, well, at 100 yards with this trash ELDX ammo, which is basically the only thing that's really available. The outfitter stuff is even worse. At least this stuff shoots good. The problem with it is the QC on it is terrible. So you get some really light loads and some really heavies. So out of 20 rounds, you might get 15 or 16, 17 good ones that are consistent, and then you'll have a couple wonky deals. So you really got to, take the information you get with a grain of salt on that. This gun didn't like it. The most I could get out of it was about just under 2 inches and 100 yards. The Precision Hunter stuff, it shoots about 3/4 minute. It's pretty decent. And then I was pretty okay at 400 yards shooting like 3.25 inch groups. So it's pretty decent in that respect, but you got to take it kind of with a grain of salt because there's some QC issues with that. But anyway, back to the scope. So then in this case, this is the Credo. I think it might be the best hunting scope available. Outside of Night Force, weighs about 23 ounces. It's got a physical zero stop, no tools for. You gotta have tools for your zero stop, but you don't need any tools to reset your turrets. It's the clicks. Let me pull you a little bit closer. It's quite good. It's not amazing, but and then it's got a capped windage turret, which I like for a hunting scope. It's second focal plane, 30mm tube. It comes with a little built-in cattail that you can maneuver around. It's got a couple different holes that you can do. All in all, this is a phenomenal scope. Comes with a Tenebrex cover, which are way better than the Butler Creeks. Just way, way better. Illuminated, and it's got a center dot, which I like. Yeah, it's just been it's a really, really, really good scope. I'm super pleased with that scope, and honestly, I wish I'd have bought another one. I've got a 10-mile on the other PRC, which I like this one better. That's just me. I prefer the Credo over the 10-mile. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. I wanted to throw this up there too. I'm going to do a couple more. I kind of feel like I need to play catch up. It's been years since I've posted anything on this channel. If you want to, check out my other channel. It's Hedge Apple Hollow Homestead. And there's a whole smorgasbord of stuff on that, from the kids playing with animals and picking berries. We got an orchard and everything. Gardening, whatever. There's all kinds of stuff on that. But anyway, thanks for watching. Any questions, I'll do my best. Thanks.